Hey there, Pisces. Welcome to your reading for the week of November 25th. You have this Here and Now card in this Higher Power card. This is coming up in your current general energies. And I just get, I don't feel this is bad, Pisces, but I just get this feeling of, of course, wanting things to happen faster with that Here and Now card. And again, I don't think this is a bad thing. I actually think that this could be because, things are working this week, or, whatever you're working on is maybe progressing or moving forward with this Wheel of Fortune here. And so it's like you want to, I kind of feel it saying, like, don't just rush to the finish line, enjoy the process, enjoy the journey, enjoy what you're working on, and, keep moving forward. And that's what I would do with that Here and Now card. Of course, you are connected. You're a Pisces. You are connected to your higher power. So a lot of you could be very intuitively connected at this time. You have the Justice card, the Two of Swords, and the Page of Wands. So again, I just feel that Justice card is kind of talking about balance, and I feel that it says that things are kind of like working for you actually, where maybe for a very long time, like you haven't been getting the results you desire, which we've definitely talked about in the past. So I almost just feel the Justice card is talking about fairness, or you feeling like the energy is being more fair to you, or you feeling like the universe is being more fair to you because things are actually progressing with the Justice card. So that's really all I get there. You have the Two of Swords. Two of Swords is this or that thinking when there is something else going on over here. So she is thinking that she only has two options, but she really has a third option behind her with this island. That island is like a new island. It's a new place that she could go to, but she's only thinking that she has two choices to make. And so if you are feeling stuck at all in any area of your life this week, the Two of Swords just says stay open to alternative solutions or other ways of doing things. The other thing I'm getting here is that Justice and Two of Swords could represent like mediation or working something out between two sides. That could be in a relationship, but it could also be like in business or work or, anything else that would involve like a negotiation or mediation. And it is popping into my head. So some of you could be dealing with that. And this would actually be pretty good for, again, kind of like finding a middle ground or coming to an agreement. But I feel like I need to say that. So if you are involved in like, I don't know, like marriage counseling or, anything like that, right? Or even something like in business as well, where you're like maybe trying to negotiate your salary or something. I feel pretty good about this. And again, this can be a good card for mediation in particular. But again, I would stay open to other solutions for everything. You have the Page of Wands. I feel like this is more excitement. I'm wondering if you've been kind of bored recently and just feeling a lack of drive or a lack of excitement. And I kind of feel that this week could be the week that all changes for you, Pisces. Like, I feel like you feel a little bit more motivated to me. Like, I don't think it's perfect, but, I feel you feel more motivated, maybe a little bit more driven even. And again, I think that's definitely a good thing. So I like to see it. But let's see. And it kind of makes sense. Saturn just went direct in Pisces recently. So, again, that kind of makes sense to me that you could be feeling more driven. With the Justice card, yes, you have the Knight of Swords. Definitely more driven. That kind of confirms the message for me. Sometimes I like the Knight of Swords. Sometimes I don't. But I do like it in your reading. I think that, some of you are seeing... here's the thing about the Justice card. Let me back up and say this. The Justice card is kind of like cause and effect. Like, if I put energy into something, do I get something out of it? And he's got those scales that he's holding on to, the Justice person. He's like weighing his options. You also have the Seven of Pentacles, which says, is the juice worth the squeeze? And so I feel for a lot of you, it's like you're finally seeing the work or the things that you do that work. And I feel the Knight of Swords is saying you are rushing towards them. Knight of Swords can be a card of momentum. So can the Wheel of Fortune can be a card of momentum as well. It's about getting the wheel to continuously spin in the direction that you want it to with the Wheel of Fortune. So I feel a lot of you are just kind of like figuring out what works. With the Two of Swords, you have the Four of Swords. Still a lot of retrogrades at the end of the year here. So I think any extra time you can take to like rest, relax, recover, heal, all that other good stuff would be good for you. So if you feel like you need a break, take a break. With the Page of Wands, you have the Strength card. There's something coming up here. It says, the Zebra card, it says distinctiveness on it, and it also says self-acceptance on it. And it was definitely popping into my head. Lions hunt zebras, which is interesting as well, because we have the lion right here. But I feel like this is saying that you should no longer be holding back. Whatever makes you unique or whatever, makes you special, I think you need to shine that out into the world and not be afraid of what people think. And the Strength card is about developing the strength to do those things. So, again, I think that the Strength card is kind of talking about that. Again, in your next row, in the area of what's coming in for you, you have this kiwi, which is also a very unusual animal here, right? And this card, it says awareness, physical attunement, and fidelity. You also have the zebra. It says spiritual symmetry, distinctiveness, and self-acceptance. And so I think you need to start accepting what makes you unique and shining that light out into the world. I think that will be very beneficial for you, Pisces. You have the Wheel of Fortune. Again, the Wheel of Fortune is a card of momentum. The trick with the Wheel of Fortune is most people don't get to develop momentum because they don't pay attention to the wheel. The wheel is always spinning in whatever direction it wants unless we control the wheel. A lot of people read the Wheel of Fortune as your destiny, which is true, but really what's more true is that it is your destiny how you see it. So it is your personal vision for your life is the Wheel of Fortune. Is that your destiny? I don't know. Do we actually know our destiny? I'm not so sure, right? It's we might think we know, but maybe the universe has other plans. But the trick with the Wheel of Fortune is that when good things happen, we double down on those good things. When bad things happen, we don't run away from them. We take care of them very quickly. And when you do that, you're living more in control, and you can get the wheel to spin forward. Again, most people it spins forward, then it spins backwards. It spins, it's kind of going back and forth. If you could just get it spinning faster in the forwards direction, then you will experience more success, more momentum with the Wheel of Fortune. And when you have more of those winds moving forward, it's harder to get it to go the other direction. So that's why we want to build momentum with the Wheel of Fortune. But I kind of feel like you are. You show up here in a very strong position with the moon. The moon can represent fears, fantasies, illusions, things like that, but I actually feel pretty good about it in your reading as well. I think it's just you showing up here. I think and again, you have this kiwi spirit, or the kiwi card that says psychic attunement on it. You also have that higher power card, so you could just find yourself being very tapped in and very intuitive this week, and of course, I would trust that intuition this week. You also have the Queen of Cups. Queen of Cups is also very intuitive. Queen of Cups is all about following your heart. And a lot of people get these cards because I believe we are in a heart-based time where we really need to listen to our inner voice or what our inner voice is telling us to do. And so the Queen of Cups, I feel, is saying, do more of the things that bring fulfillment into your life. And again, that's another thing we can do with the Wheel of Fortune is, make sure that we're practicing more fulfillment or getting fulfillment. So if you want that, this could definitely be love, can be more fulfillment. I do feel that there could be love coming in. We go Queen of Swords to the Knight of Cups. The Queen of Swords kind of has her hand up and her sword up as well to this devil. The devil is showing up in the good stuff. So, this could be a Capricorn, or it could be a person that you think is, it could be any sign is what I'm trying to say. But it could be a person that's coming in for you. It's also interesting that card is Saturn in Capricorn, or Saturn, the devil can represent, and we have Saturn moving forward. So it's maybe this forward movement of Saturn is bringing love into your life if you want it with the Knight of Cups here. She's cautiously optimistic. So I kind of feel like this is you right here, the Queen of Swords. If someone is approaching you, I think you're in this Queen of Swords energy where you're kind of open to it, but you'll also, chop someone's head off with your sword if they do the wrong thing. With the Wheel of Fortune, you have the Six of Swords. Yes, moving on to calmer shores. It's things can be hard or things can be easy. And the Six of Swords is about moving across the choppy waters and getting to the calmer shores. So I would choose to make things easier in your life. Life is not easy. So it's a little bit contradictory, but life is not easy, but we can choose to make things easier by focusing on the easy way to do things, or we can just try to make hard things easier. And I feel like that's what this is saying. It's saying, no, things will never be perfect, but sometimes we have to try to make the hard things easier as best as we possibly can. And again, I think you will be surprised by just making little minor improvements to things that are, kind of hard. I think will make your life a lot easier and will get, again, the momentum going in the right direction. With the moon, you have the Ace of Pentacles. The Ace of Pentacles could be like a big new opportunity coming in for you. I kind of feel like this is more like an egg for you, Pisces. I feel like this is something that you've been sitting on, like an idea, a plan, a goal, wish, dream, something that you've been thinking about for a long time. And we go up to the Seven of Pentacles here, and I kind of feel that just the juice isn't worth the squeeze anymore on like what you've been doing in your life. He's looking at those Seven Pentacles, and he's saying like, is it worth it for me to keep doing what I'm doing, or should I go do this new thing with the Ace of Pentacles? The funny thing is that it comes up on the moon, so that really kind of tells me that like whatever you're thinking about doing is just a dream, or is just lives in the fantasy world. But I always say that I believe the fool has to bring the moon down to earth. He has to take the dream out of the dream world and bring it into the real world. Literally, Saturn in Pisces and Neptune in Pisces says exactly what I just said. With the Queen of Cups, you have the Justice card. So justice twice here. I think you need to put your heart first this week is what this is saying. It's kind of like your head over your heart or your heart over your head at this time. I think your heart is guiding you towards things that might not make logical sense, but maybe you really want to do them, like projects or activities or, just things in your life. And I feel you really need to kind of listen to your heart. Next, in the area of messages from your future self, you have this card. It says, adjustments are required. You cannot make that up. I was literally saying that with that, take hard things and make them easier. That's literally what this is saying. You have this card that says, you are good enough. And we said this at the beginning of the reading, that you need to kind of like make yourself or allow yourself to be unique with that zebra spirit. So I think it's definitely time for you to kind of shine your uniqueness or put your uniqueness out into the world. I think people are going to be more receptive to you over the coming years, and I think Pisces is not used to people being receptive to their ideas. Pisces has crazy ideas. So, again, I think it's time for you to kind of like, let the fear of judgment go, especially justice twice, even though it's not judgment, it could still be kind of like the fear of judgment, especially because both justice cards are connected to the moon in the reading, right? So you could be, and also you have the Two of Swords, like, she is thinking if I say something, this or that will happen, but really she's not seeing how things will actually happen with the new island behind her. So again, I think there's something about that in this reading. You have the Seven of Pentacles, the Queen of Swords, and the Temperance card. Again, I just think you're a little bit bored. I don't feel bad or good about this. I kind of feel in the middle. I think you're just a little bit bored. I think the boredom could be because you're not being challenged in the right ways. And so I feel a lot of you are making changes to, not be bored. And that's what I would do here. You have the Queen of Swords. Queen of Swords is about gaining clarity for the first time. She has clouds only halfway up her body, and she's seeing the future more clearly. I think that this set of retrogrades, for whatever reason, is bringing in a lot of clarity for people. So any area of your life where you haven't been clear, I think you could be getting clear. And again, retrogrades, everybody thinks of them as confusing, but really they're great for clarity, especially if you're kind of like processing things that you've already done or things that you've already been through. Then retrogrades can bring in great clarity from the past, right? And so, any situation that we've been in. And I think that this set of retrogrades in particular is bringing in a lot of clarity. You have this Temperance card. I don't know. I really feel like Pisces is done being patient, is what I would say. Sorry. That didn't work. But I feel like Pisces is over the whole being patient thing or, just like waiting for things to happen. I do think you've been patient enough for sure. And I feel like you probably are saying that, like, what the hell am I waiting for? And but one thing I will say is that the Temperance card is a card of alchemy. I kind of feel like this whole entire reading is about alchemy. I think the whole entire reading is encouraging you to actively change your situation by, again, you could make the hard things easier in your life or try to find a way to do it. Again, life is not perfect, and sometimes we can't find a way, but, even, let's say you're dealing with like 10 challenges right now, even if you make 5 of them easier, that you're making your life a lot easier. So, again, even if you can't make everything perfect, I would, try your best to improve some of the challenges that you're experiencing. With the Seven of Pentacles, you have the Five of Pentacles. Five of Pentacles can represent feeling left out in the cold, and you have the Five of Pentacles twice. We actually have it in the good stuff right here, which is a good thing, because that tells me that you're coming out of the cold. But the Five of Pentacles also says, do not call attention to your weaknesses. It wants you to focus on your strengths, and that's exactly what I would do with the Five of Pentacles. I think, again, there is another story in the reading, especially with this Zebra card talking about uniqueness, and I really feel like it's saying that, yeah, maybe Pisces is used to people thinking that they're crazy or whatever. And I feel like the Five of Pentacles is saying we're in a very unique time. You need to shine those unique ideas out into the world. With the Queen of Swords, you have the Two of Cups. Definitely love. I told you. This is definitely a person, Pisces. I'm telling you right now. Even though we have these retrogrades, I wouldn't worry about it. Again, just take your time, right? It's like, I think it's perfectly acceptable to date during retrogrades if you're dating, because again, I think if the person is going to make a mistake, they're going to make it during the retrograde, and then you don't have to waste like 6 months, 2 years, 3 years on a person who just isn't going to go anywhere, right? So I think that retrogrades are great for dating as long as you pay attention, as long as you take your time. And what's meant for you will not pass you by. So a good person in your life, during a retrograde, it's not like the retrograde is going to ruin the connection, especially if it's a good connection in the first place. So I think this is a new person. I think this is someone that you wouldn't normally go for as well, is what I would say. But I think you find this person attractive, of course, but Two of Cups is just usually a person that's different than your usual type. It's like, maybe you usually go for dark-haired people, and this person has light hair, right? Like that kind of difference. And but Two of Cups could be, a foreign person, a person from another country, a person with a different background, different race, different whatever. So again, it could be, could be anything. But again, I do feel there is definitely something different that you wouldn't normally go for, but not like in a bad way. With the Temperance card, you have the Nine of Swords. Yeah, there's definitely, this right here is Pisces rumination. Like, as a Pisces, I totally get it. So, this is the overthinking something to death type of energy. And I do feel like the Temperance card is like saying, here's the thing about the Temperance card is that he's like, sometimes I feel that he is trying to make something perfect, and before he gets off on this path here, this is the path to glory. But sometimes I also feel like he just needs to get onto that path. There's no more, there's nothing he can do to make something more perfect, And I kind of feel that with this Nine of Swords. Like, I feel very Pisces about your reading. It's like, I don't feel good or bad. It's like everything about this reading is kind of in the middle, and also your choice, right? And so it's kind of a funny reading in that sense. But I feel like the Nine of Swords is saying like, no overthinking, or, if you are overthinking something, chances are you're more than prepared to begin whatever it is. And so just, start the journey. Next, in the area of the good stuff, you have this Nile River card, says flow of abundance, love it. And you also have this soul healing card as well. Again, a lot of you are going through a soul healing just in general, so, makes perfect sense to me, but there definitely could be more abundance coming in for you as well. You have the Knight of Cups, the Devil, and then Five of Pentacles. Again, clearly, this could be a Knight in Shining Armor that's coming into your life. Could be a Capricorn. I think Pisces and Capricorn is a good match. I'm trying to think if I know any, and I don't think I do, so I don't know. Take it how it resonates, whatever. It could just be a person who has like Capricorn in their chart or something as well. But it could be any sign, general reading. But the Knight of Cups is a Knight in Shining Armor. Knight of Cups also says that it's time to start planting seeds. And we have that Seven of Pentacles, right before him. So the Seven of Pentacles says you have already grown something. Knight of Cups, he is thinking about growing something new, but he's standing in the desert, and in the desert, nothing can grow. But he has water flowing in front of him. So if he would just plant that first seed, his dream will grow. But he has to take that first step. And this reading is definitely saying it's time for you to take that next step in that new direction, and that's what I would do here. Again, I'm telling you right now, Pisces, Pluto has moved into Aquarius today. Today is the 18th that I'm shooting this video, so tomorrow on the 19th when I publish this video, Pluto will have been moved into Aquarius. And I'm telling you, any creative ideas, any unique ideas, any innovative ideas are going to be very important for you. Any spiritual ideas as well, since Pluto's in your 12th house. I would also say that with it being an Aquarius, that I really feel that there's something about like Pisces needing to take the lead at this time. Meaning, like whatever you do, I think you need to do things that make your unique ideas stand out. And when you think about it, Aquarius is a star card as well, and the star is all about getting attention. So, I would make sure that whatever you're working on, or whatever new thing you're growing is, I would make sure to get as much attention as you possibly can on whatever it is. And you are definitely like the number one sign that needs to do that. I think everybody else does too, but you need to do it more. You have the Devil here. Again, I did get Capricorn vibes on this right away when I put the card down, so I don't know, could be a Capricorn coming into your life, like I said. For others, again, this is coming up in the good stuff, and you could be definitely ending some karmic cycles or, anything that you're attached to. Again, Pluto, going over the cusp of Capricorn and Aquarius is definitely like the death of establishment, but I also think it could be the death of certain karma for Pisces. So if there are things that you're stuck or bound to, the good news, it's coming up in the good stuff, so, the good thing going on here is that you could be removing yourself from toxic situations. You have the Five of Pentacles. Again, in the good stuff, this would represent you coming out of the cold. Could also represent you increasing your abundance. And we have that card that says flow of abundance. And so I think that, again, you could be increasing your earnings. There's even a river, again, on this Knight of Cups. So your dream could be connected to your abundance. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Ace of Swords. Again, this could be communication with a person as well. So you have the Two of Cups. Two of Cups is you and your higher self, but Two of Cups this right here is a staff of Hermes, which is Mercury, and it just represents communication. So some of you could be communicating with someone new. The Ace of Swords is also a victory, so big victories. With the Devil, you have the Hierophant here. The Hierophant is about outside the box thinking. The whole entire reading is about outside the box thinking. So again, I think the Devil could be you holding back on your ideas because you're afraid of what people will think. The Devil can be anything that you're stuck and bound to. So you could be feeling or have felt in the past that you are stuck and bound to other people's expectations or ideas or whatever, or their emotions even, which I think is very Piscean. It's like sometimes I think Pisces is too afraid to do something because they don't want to hurt someone's feelings. But, it's like, to me, really, we can't hurt anyone's feelings. People only hurt their own feelings, right? So I think that's a big lesson that Pisces needs to learn. It's like, really, people only hurt their own feelings. We can't hurt anyone's feelings by living our life. And, I feel like the Hierophant is saying that you are kind of like more thinking outside the box or, being more unique. With the Five of Pentacles, you have the Nine of Wands. I'm getting a weird message here as well for you, Pisces. I think you're just willing to do new things, and that's a good thing. The Nine of Wands says don't give up, but, the Nine of Wands is my card of throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And really, intuitively, the message I'm getting here is that I think that you are willing to be more flexible at this time. Nine of Wands to me is kind of like a card of experimentation, like throwing stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. And I think that you trying new things, in work, in business, in your career, in whatever you're doing is going to be the thing that leads to the most success. So, love it. You have this Casket card. It says someone going out of your life for the end of a situation. The Devil could be you removing a toxic person from your life as well. So, definitely makes sense. You have this desk. It says pay attention to your work. Yeah, I would focus on your work. During this retrograde time, I would be careful of daydreaming too much and not focusing on things that are important for you. I think it would be one of those times where it would be a great time to like set a timer every single day when you're working, especially if you work from home, and be like, for this hour, I'm going to dedicate this 1 hour to work, and I'm only going to focus on work, and for the rest of the day, I can do whatever I want, right? I think that 1 hour, if you can focus for that 1 hour, would be worth, 16 hours normally. So I think that if you really say to your brain, I'm focusing on this right now, and I'm not going to get distracted by anything else, turn your phone off and all that other stuff, then I think you'll get a lot done. But, again, retrogrades can be very, dreamy. You have this butterfly card. It says a change for the better. I think the whole entire reading is talking about a change for the better. Feels a little slow to me. Again, I'm not saying this is going to happen overnight. I think it's going to take a little time, but things are changing. You have this flute. It says disappointment in a friend or a lover. I mean, again, Mars retrograde as well at the end of the year, I think definitely can make us feel disappointed with people. But again, expectations. Really, we can only disappoint ourselves. So I think as long as you know that, you'll be fine. You have this camel. It says, persevere and you will overcome problems. Yes, definitely. I think you've learned this with the Nine of Wands coming up in the good stuff, but pretty weird reading, I'm not going to lie. I like it. I think it's good, but weird. So thank you for being here, and definitely enjoy your week.